the day of the festival. Preparations for the event should be nearly complete, given all the work everyone's put in over the weekend. Funnily enough, I probably feel the same way as Natsuki about the event. I'm more excited for it to be over so I can spend time with Sayori at the festival. But knowing Monica, I'm sure the event will be great too. It's been a while though. Where's Sayori? We're meant to walk together, but she's late again. I don't want to leave her behind, but if she takes any longer, I'm gonna be late for school. More time passes. There's going to be a moment of decision soon if she doesn't arrive. Just as I'm getting ready to leave, I finally spot her slowly making her way down the street. She's carrying a large sack in her hands and I'm surprised she isn't running over to me. Isn't she aware how late she is? Sayori, where have you been? I could have been late for school. I know, sorry. I overslept again? Or I couldn't decide what to have for breakfast again. Probably both. She immediately pouts. You're such a meanie sometimes. You know my teasing's all in good fun, right? She mumbles something under her breath. Of course. By the way, I also double-checked the little bags. They're all here. She gestures into the large sack, a bright smile evident on her face. Good stuff, Sayori. People are gonna love them. That was a really good idea. Candy, bookmarks, and literature quotes. Perfect things to give out for our event. Uh-huh. Something for everyone. Although I'm kinda nervous for the festival. Honestly, I don't blame you for that. It's kinda nerve-wracking, isn't it? I mean, I know how much it means to Monica, but at the same time I didn't realize how intimidating reciting poetry to a bunch of strangers can be. Yeah, that was all for the club. That was all for it back at the club room, rather. But now, the actual event this year? She looks a little nervous. I reach over and give her a squeeze on the shoulder. We'll be fine. Don't you worry. I know how much you like poetry, plus your poems are great. I just hope my performances is up to standard. Oh, don't be silly, Midas. They'll love your poem. I just know it. I chuckle, admiring the definitive optimism that really makes Sayori... Sayori. Well, guess we'll find out. By the way, are you doing anything after the festival? Anything fun? Nope, I haven't really planned that far ahead. I'm not great at doing that anyway. I'm kinda hoping we finish early so we can have the rest of the day off, to be honest. So what you're saying is, you want to go home and sleep, right? Oh, look how many students there are! How many clubs are having their own little event today? What a tactical change of topic that was. Our school is in sight and there's a lot of students milling around. It's a little strange to think that there's so many fellow students around that I've been feeling so lonely. Or at least before joining the literature club. Times like these make me grateful that Sayori told me about the club in the first place. I don't know, probably quite a few. By the way, Sayori, what's up, Midas? I just wanted to say that no matter how this festival goes, I'm really grateful you told me about your club and let me join. I've had a lot of fun so far. I scratched the back of my head nervously as Sayori looks curiously at me. I've never been good at expressing myself and it probably shows. I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you. It's been so much fun being able to spend time with you again too. Really takes me back. You don't have to thank me for anything, silly. I've enjoyed it too. After all, it would be lovely if things could go back to how they used to. How they used to? What do you mean? Nothing. Strange choice of words. What could she mean by this? As we enter the courtyard and make our way to our meeting room, she breaks the silence by giggling. Something funny. I just thought of a way to steal one of Natsuki's cupcakes without her realizing. Are you sure that's a good idea? Natsuki might be a little, but you know better than I do that she can be really fiery. Oh, don't you worry about her. She might be a bit mean on the outside, but she's harmless. Don't let her fool you. I'd rather her than me. Here it comes. Midas, Sayori. It's good to see you guys. Do you want to come and give me a hand? Sayori... I'm sorry. Monica is placing little booklets on each of the desks in the club room. They must have been the ones she prepared that has all the poems we're performing. In the end, I found a random poem online that I thought Monica would like and submitted it. So that's the one I'll be performing. Hey, don't you guys want to check out the pamphlets? They came out really nice. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I really did. They look really pretty. Something like this will definitely help people take the club more seriously. Yeah, I thought so too. I flipped through the pages. Each member's poem is neatly printed on its own page, giving it an almost professional feel. I recognized the girls' poems from the ones they performed during our practice. Just then, Natsuki bursts into the room, carrying a box that positively towers over her. Yuri trails behind her, carrying a rolled-up banner and a large duffel bag. Alright, it's festival time. Wow. You guys got here before me? I thought I was pretty early. Sorry for being the last one here. I'm glad that some preparation is already underway though. It should take less time to set everything up this way. Yeah, let's work hard together, everyone. Natsuki unpacks her box and reveals 4 trays of cupcakes stacked carefully on top of each other. Midas! I jump at the sound of an outburst. Yes? Let me lay out these cupcakes. Then, if you wouldn't mind, Sayori, can you help me with these? Yuri gestures at her bag, which Sayori nods cheerfully. I help Natsuki with the cupcakes while Yuri and Sayori start putting up decorations. Meanwhile, Monika continues putting down pamphlets. It isn't long before Natsuki has carefully arranged her cupcakes in a neat formation. Each cupcake is topped with white icing and some kanji written in a variety of different colored frostings. Wow, these look really good. Great idea to make them literature themed as well, Natsuki. Yeah, it was a good idea, huh? I wrote down words that specifically have to do with poetry in our poems too. She picks up a cupcake to show at me. See? It says great. Isn't that the kanji for use? Eh? As Natsuki furiously checks over the rest of her cupcakes to look for more miswritten characters, I glance over at Yuri and Sayori. I wonder if there will be anything miswritten if it's us that helped Natsuki. I filled up a banner with an inspirational quote written in a colorful gradient of the colors of the sky. A good writer possesses not only his own spirit, but also the spirit of his friends. That's a quote by the German philosopher Friedrich. I'm not gonna try and pronouncing that. He has some very interesting thoughts, although there are some that I don't quite agree with. Oh, I think I've heard of him. As usual, Yuri outclasses me with her intellect. It seems like they've also hung out a certain curtain of origami paper tied 2 ribbons in the doorway. Upon closer inspection, each paper has a different kanji character written on it. Hey, looks like you did something similar to Natsuki with your kanji curtain. Is that so? I'll have to take a look at it. What she's done after I finish setting up. She gestures to a few candles and a wooden cylinder-shaped object. Yuri said this was an essential oil diffuser. Yes, it's for aromatherapy, one of my favorite contributors to a positive atmosphere. Ah, I'm excited to see how it works later. Looks like all the preparations are almost finished now. I feel like there's something missing though. Suddenly I notice a large bag sitting forlornly by itself to the side. Sayori, do you mind handing me the sack you've got? I'll help you distribute all the stuff inside. Okay, here you go. Peering inside, I catch sight of quite a few small, colorful bags neatly tied shut with the ribbons. Just as I remember, her handiwork from yesterday really shows. I pull one out. Yuri and Monika notice the little bags looking on with interest. So this is what you and Midas have been working over the weekend, Sayori. I love how these look. You both did a fantastic job. It's mostly Sayori. I couldn't do the ribbon part if my life depended on it. I'm sure the contents are just as impressive as the exterior. What sorts of things did you choose for the coats? We've had a lot of fun with that. She delicately opens one of the little bags, fishing out a coat. It's perfectly okay to write garbage, as long as you edit it brilliantly. Oh wait, I didn't put this one in? Yeah, I thought that one was mine. I thought it was kinda funny. Monika giggles whereas Sayori and Yuri look like they're trying to figure out what the punchline is. Well, one out of 3 isn't so bad. How about this one? I accidentally opened another bag, picking out the coat. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain just gets fixated on a specific point. Just force yourself to get something out of paper and tidy it up later. That's basically one of Monica's tips, right? I like that one a lot, Midas. After all, it's pretty much true. If you never start, you can't make any progress. I mean, it's kinda like what you said, Monica. Keeping your pen at the same spot would just result in a big puddle of ink. We couldn't find out what you said. Or we couldn't find who said that. Which is a shame. Have you guys tried the candy? Don't you think we should save those for the people we made these bags for, Sayori? Yeah. Natsuki's irritated voice rings over from across the room. Hey, if you guys are finished over there, can you actually sort Sayori's stuff out? You know, we do have a festival to prepare for, rather. She huffs, and the rest of us share a guilty grin. Natsuki's right. I suppose Natsuki raises a valid point. Yeah, let's get to it then. We each delve into the sack and scoop up the little bags, going around the classroom and setting them down on each desk. We painted out a few spare coats to put around the classroom, and it's not long before a few desks bear the wise words of writers and poets alike. Sayori wanders over to the front door and sticks one of the coats there. I'm impressed by your thinking. Everyone will see that coat that way. Doesn't take too long to distribute all of the little bags around the room. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot Sayori trying to sneakily open the bag and pop a candy in her mouth. No! Naturally, she drops the chocolate. Some things never change. Let's just hope something good happens this time. Though I doubt it. By the time we finish, it looks like everyone else is done too. The classroom is now darkened and lit up by the ambient lighting of the candles. A delicate floral scent wafts through the air, courtesy of Yuri's essential oils. Sayori and I headed towards the other three girls. We're huddled in front of the classroom, murmuring to each other. Is it about time to start yet? Almost. We wrote that we were going to start at 10 AM on our posters, and that's in 10 minutes. Are people actually going to show up for this? Don't be so negative. Some people have shown up already, and I'm sure that more will file in soon. You guys don't have to be worrying so much about it. I've got full faith in all of you. I've seen all of your poems. It's been amazing watching each and every one of you find and nurture your unique writing style. She smiles encouragingly at each of us. To her credit, her words are helpful, even though I haven't been part of this club for as long as the other three. Even Midas? Natsuki. It was just a joke. Jeez. Some humor would lighten the mood. Sorry, just trying to make sure everyone's in the best frame of mind before we start. It's okay, Monica. We all understand and appreciate that. Yeah, we know how much this club means to you. I want it to be a success just as much as you do. Couldn't have pointed better myself. Even though I've only been in the club for a few days, I really felt at home. Truth be told, I used to be kinda lonely. Knowing that I'm included in something with people like you guys always makes me feel better. Apart from Sayori and Sunday, I haven't really told anyone about how lonely I've been feeling. I'm a little nervous at how the others will react. They all turn to me, varying degrees of emotion on their faces. Natsuki impassively looks to the side. Yuri gives me an expression of concern. Sayori looks a little sad. She doesn't look sad here. Remembering our conversation about this. It's okay, Midas. You can change that, remember? Like I said, I'm so happy that you feel welcome here. It's exactly what we wanted. I agree. No one should feel alone. I know it's quite a difficult thing to experience. Now that I know why you feel this so, Yuri, I feel a warm flush of gratitude at their words. Thanks, guys. It means a lot. Also, Monica, I told this Sayori earlier, and I figured you might appreciate hearing this. Well, no matter how the festival goes, I just wanted to thank all of you. Thanks to you guys, that lonely feeling has disappeared. You've all been so welcoming and accepting, and believe me, I'm really appreciative of that. So even if this event doesn't quite go as planned, just know that I really love it here, and I'm so glad Sayori told me about this club. If others don't like what we have here, well, it's their loss, right? The girls all nod in agreement, smiling at me. I had no idea my words would have such an impact, but I'm glad they did in the end. It feels so rewarding to be able to give back to the club for a change. Monica turns to me, eyes shining with appreciation. Thank you, Midas. You're right. Hearing those words from a newcomer really makes me feel like I've succeeded in my goals as president. After all, I wanted to create a place where people can feel comfortable and share literature, and what you've just said makes me feel like it was all worth it. She turns to face the others. See, guys? If we could show Midas how amazing this club is, who's to say we can't show the other students the same thing? Don't see them as strangers. See them as potential club members. She's definitely got in the way with inspiring words. Yeah, good thinking, Monica. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, but if they say anything bad about my cupcakes, I'm gonna kill them. Yuri giggles softly. I won't lie to you, I'm still quite nervous. But after hearing what you've said, Midas, I realized there might be other lonely people out there. This club would be the perfect place for them. Yeah, you might even find more manga enthusiasts. That's the spirit. Now, let's go and show the rest of the school just what the literature club is made of. As if on cue, a few people wander into the room, curiously looking around the room. Monica confidently walks over and greets them. And so, it begins. Monica and Sayori have greeted the newcomers and settled them in desks throughout the classroom. Some people are already helping themselves to cupcakes, and I noticed Natsuki keeping an eye on them. Meanwhile, Yuri is nervously looking through a pamphlet. I can see her soundlessly mouthing the words to her poem. Now that I think about it, I should be getting some extra practice as well. Before I can do so, though, Monica heads towards us with Sayori in tow. Showtime, everyone! Alright. Let's do this, guys. Time to get this over with. We can do this. They group up and stand together at the front of the classroom. Monica steps up to the podium, clears her throat, drawing the room's attention to her. Okay, everyone. Welcome to the Literature Club's poetry performance. My name is Monica, as some of you may know. Some girls sitting in front of the classroom wave at her. And I'm the president of the Literature Club. Accompanying me is the vice president, Sayori. Hi, guys. The rest of our club members, Yuri, Natsuki, and last but certainly not least, Midas. They all wave back at the students with varying degrees of enthusiasm. I hope that you'll all enjoy our poetry, and that we'll be able to help contribute to a memorable festival. Literature is amazing in its ability to connect us to the human condition, and we really hope that this event will encourage others to start participating as well. Our club will gladly welcome any new members, from those who love words and writing as well, to anyone who's simply just curious and wants to learn more. After the scheduled performances, we'll be opening up the stage for anyone else who wants to perform, so don't be shy. And now, without further ado, I'll be starting with my poem, The Way They Fly. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and I head off to settle down in the frontmost desk, saving the seat at the end for Monica. She stands there, alone yet still radiating confidence. After flashing a smile and a wink at us, she begins. Each word is crystal clear and exudes emotion. Somehow her recitation is even better than it was only a few days ago. She must have practiced really hard to try and achieve perfection. The classroom is silent at first, drinking in her words. After a few moments, however, some whispering starts up from the back of the classroom. I guess that's inevitable, but it still doesn't make it any less annoying. I exchange a look on Natsuki, who rolls her eyes at the disruptions. Sayori pats my hand and gives me an encouraging smile. She's comforting as always. As Monica's poem progresses, more and more people wander in. Normally this would be a good thing, but they're making a lot of noise. Thankfully, they simmer down once they realize Monica's speaking, but the damage has already been done. She reaches the end of her poem, the last few words resonating in the classroom. Round of applause fills the room and Monica beams at everyone, patiently waiting for them to finish. Thank you for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my poem and it gave you a flavor of what this club is like. For the newcomers, welcome. We're just in the midst of showing you all our poems. For the benefit of those who just joined, she quickly reintroduces everyone. Anyway, next up is Natsuki. Take it away. Natsuki stumbles slightly as she makes her way to the front of the class. I guess the nerves are really getting into her. Doesn't help that someone sniggers, causing her to turn to glare at them. Sayori seems to notice too, as she hastens to shoot Natsuki a reassuring smile. Natsuki stands at the front of the classroom with her poem in hand, slight traces of irritation still visible on her face. Anyway, so my poem's called Jump. I wonder if this will be different considering I chose a different doki. She takes a deep breath and begins her recital. Just as I was hoping, she's able to inject her trademark bouncy style into the performance, bringing the words to life. She doesn't quite radiate the confidence of Monica, but her unique style shines through, giving the poem a flowing rhythm. While simple, it's effective. My heart sinks as I start picking up on the newcomers having their own conversation in the back of the room. I'm hit with a surge of anger. How can they be so inconsiderate? It's clear that they aren't paying any attention, and from the pause and change in Natsuki's tone, she's clearly picked up on it as well. Why can't they just leave their stupid separate conversations for after our performances? Her poem comes to an end, but unlike Monica's, there's a light, awkward moment of silence. Once again, there's a round of applause, but it's clear that the audience engagement isn't quite as strong. Great performance, Natsuki. I really like the rhythm of that poem. Natsuki forces a smile and makes her way back to her seat. It's clear that she's upset. Anyway, our Vice President Sayori is next to perform. Hi everyone! I hope you like my poem. She cheerily skips up to the front, poem in hand. She turns to face her, she looks a little nervous, fidgeting slightly. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. Where's the music? I'm getting nervous too. It's okay, Sayori. Just remember what they practiced. I have full faith in you. Yeah, you got this, Sayori. This one's called My Meadow. She begins her poem. Her soft voice guides us through the recital, and there it is. This won't end well. There's a remarkable contrast between her cheerful inflection and the more bittersweet nature of the words. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed people casually flicking cupcake wrappers onto the floor, along with candy wrappers lying on the tables. Worse still, the talking is getting louder and more noticeable. Monica looks at the perpetrators, frowning at them. One of the students lets out a loud yawn, making absolutely no effort to hide it. Another student picks up one of the coats and nudges their friend. They both frown and laugh at the message, and they get the horrible feeling that it's more the mocking kind. At this point, I'm seeing red. If you weren't in school, I would have punched these inconsiderate pricks by now. No one should be this rude to Sayori. She's probably the sweetest person I've ever met. Despite the no obvious disruptions, she's still trying her best, and is making a real effort to continue. To her credit, her performance is still commendable. She manages to work the contrast of her enunciation against the words in her favor. It adds an interesting depth to the poem. I'd love to see more of this side to her, but apparently others don't. She brings her performance to a close, hands shaking slightly. Lovely poem, Sayori. You really brought that one to life. Thank you. Something's off with her voice. It's like how she was on Friday. No. Monica stands up to address everyone in the room. Just a polite reminder that it would be much appreciated if everyone could give our poets some respect while they're performing. Monica looks stern while Natsuki looks positively furious. Thank you. Now the stage is all yours, Yuri. Yuri's looking terrified at this point. Sayori gives her a reassuring squeeze, and I lean over, whispering into her ear. You've got this, Yuri. Just pretend like it's only me, Natsuki, so you're in Monica. I can't do this, Midas. Yes, you can. I believe in you. I've seen how passionate you can become when you talk about Portrait of Markov. I love that. I love seeing that side of you. Besides, like you said, this club could be a perfect place for any of these people. You just don't know it yet. She swallows nervously, nodding at my words. Okay, thank you. She rises to her feet, palm clasped firmly to her chest, and avoiding eye contact with everyone as she walks up. Her eyes flick up to glance at the classroom when she gets on stage, although she quickly ducks her head back down to look at her poem on the podium. I mean, it will be a bad ending, but I don't know how it will. Like, I chose a different Loki this time. This poem is called After Image of Crimson Eye. Her voice quivers as she starts, but unlike her recitation a few days ago, the meek and trembling version of Yuri remains well into the poem. She determinedly forges ahead, but I can tell that she's not enjoying it in the slightest. The rest of the classroom, momentarily subdued by Monica's words, soon begins to grow louder again. After a few lines of her poem, they are even more unruly than before. The crinkling of wrappers fill the air, and at a few points, Yuri is almost drowned out by others' voices. I catch a few people getting up and leaving the classroom, and by the slight hitch in her voice, it seems that Yuri is seeing them as well. Her eyes stay glued to her poem now, and it looks like she's trying her hardest to ignore everyone. Yeah, there we go. It's gonna die. It's gonna die out. One boy quietly wolf whistles at Yuri, causing her to jump and lower her head even more. She's practically shaking like a leaf. This is absolutely disgusting behavior, and I opened my mouth to say something. Suddenly, Natsuki stands up, a loud scraping noise from her pushing away from the desk, drawing the attention of the students. Can you all just shut up? I'm really freaking sick of this. How can you guys be so rude? I actually find it low-key sweet that you're defending Yuri, Natsuki. We're trying our best to show you something amazing here, and you're just going to stomp all over our hard work like that? Unbelievable. I can't even understand how people can be this arrogant and just this plain terrible. I don't want to interrupt you, Yuri, but I can't stand it anymore. You idiots might as well leave if you aren't even going to pretend to pay attention. There's complete silence for a beat. Only came for food anyway. Let's go, guys. I couldn't remember that he is Natsuki's classmate, so I don't know, will it play when I choose Natsuki's route? Once this boy speaks up and begins to lead his friends away one by one, more students start to follow them out that door. I throw a panicked look over to Monica, who's holding a strange, stiff expression on her face. Looks like she's struggling to stay calm for everyone. After a few months, there's barely anyone left. Yuri, meanwhile, quietly begins speaking again. Her voice is barely audible. There's just a stifling silence accompanying her words. When she finishes, a weak smattering of applause sounds from the few who are left. She unsteadily steps down from the stage, a blank look on her face. She won't look at any of us either. I'm worried about her. Okay. Monica's voice cracks as she speaks up. She's still trying her best to see us through this. I don't think any of us could have predicted that it would turn out this way. Thank you, Yuri. You did wonderfully. I'm sincerely sorry for all the disruptions and sheer arrogance you had to endure. Those kinds of people are really the worst. To those who are left, I want to thank you all for staying and apologize as well. This is definitely not a normal occurrence for the Liturgy Club, I assure you. Well, let's finish off with Midas then. With a heavy heart, I slowly get up and walk onto the stage. When I get to the podium, I'm appalled by the sight of the classroom. Candy and cupcake wrappers are strewn across the floor, and quote cards being tossed around, with many of the cards now featuring shoe prints over the words. The remnants of goodie bags are left ripped apart on the desks. Even the kanji curtain looks tangled up and messy. The only students left are the ones who waved to Monica at the beginning. This is what you really had to see when reciting her poem. No wonder she didn't want to look up and face these people. Can I really do this now? How are the others able to finish their poems? I look at the clock. It's only been 20 minutes? Taking a shaky breath, I begin to speak. Hi everyone. I'd like to take a second to apologize as well, both to those who are checking out the club today and those who are already in it. Despite everything that's happened, I can say that I'm glad that I joined, since I got to meet so much amazing people. I believe that you guys will love it as much as I did too. Anyhow, I hope you'll all enjoy Acquainted with the Night. I start reading, and I'm struck once again by the beauty of the poem. The loneliness and isolation conveyed so accurately. I can relate to a lot of these feelings. I won't be as good as the others at reciting, but I can only hope that I'll be able to do the poem justice. Thoughts of doing both the poet and the club proud strengthened my spirit, and I managed to fight through the depressing mood. The quiet of the classroom suits the lines of the poem well, and my recital seems to fly by rather quickly. Excellent performance, Midas. What a great way to round off the event. As I step down from the stage, Monica stands up and adjusts the room. Thank you all for coming and staying. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. That's it for the scheduled recitations, so you guys are free to stay and hang out if you want. There's an awkward silence for a few moments, then the remaining students start to stand up. Hi, Sayori. Hey, Monica. And you too, Midas. I didn't know you were in this club. The girl standing before us is actually my homeroom class's representative, Sayori. Given that both she and Monica are class reps, they're probably good friends. Yeah, I only joined about a week ago, so... I see. Yup. Hey, the way you guys were treated was seriously awful. That's fine. Thanks for staying. Either way, sorry about everything, Monica. I'll check out the club sometime. Will you please stay, Sayori? She gives us a small, commissionatory smile, and I'm torn between wondering whether everyone's pitying us or sympathizing with us. I start to file out the classroom after a few more goodbyes. Monica keeps a strained smile plastered on her face, meanwhile Yuri has her head buried in her arms on the desk. In contrast, Natsuki's staring straight ahead, gritting her teeth, and Sayori looks down at her desk, picking at a spot on the varnished wood. To say that there's tension in the air would be a massive understatement. There's a silence in the room, made worse by the sense of awkwardness. No one knows what to say. No one expected the festival to end this way. The impact is hitting us all. So... that could have gone better. My attempt at humor falls flat and I immediately regret speaking. That has to be very insensitive of us. I mean, look at the place. Natsuki gives me a dirty look, but Sayori smiles fondly. Meanwhile, it looks like Monica's face has finally fallen. I don't understand. Where did you go so wrong, guys? We spent so long preparing for this, and after all our efforts... For the first time, that outgoing confidence Monica always seemed to radiate has snuffed out. She clearly cared a lot about this event, and I feel an awful lot. I feel awful for her. I know, I don't get it either. I thought you guys all did such a good job as well. Decorations, recitals. I'm sorry, Monica. Don't worry about it, Midas. It's not like it's your fault anyway. She smiles weakly at me. Glancing around, I noticed that Yuri and Natsuki seemed particularly upset, with Yuri looking absolutely dejected and Natsuki steaming mad. This is all your fault, Monica. I told you this was a stupid idea. None of us were even that comfortable with doing this in the first place. Now look where it's landed us. Excuse me? My fault? You all agreed to this. Pardon me for thinking that it would actually go well. What's so wrong about that? We only agreed to do it because we felt like you were forcing us. I was really hoping this wouldn't happen. Given everyone's low moods, an argument is the last thing we need. I didn't force anyone, Natsuki. You know how much this club means to me. I was just excited to show what we have to the rest of the school. Yeah, because it was such a good idea, wasn't it? I really started to get sick of your constant sarcasm, you know? Why can't you just try being positive for once in your life? Jeez, it's funny that you say that, because I really started to get sick of your self-righteous, know-it-all attitude. We told you this was a bad idea, but no. You just had to insist on this, even though no one was happy with it. It was for a reason. Look how much Midas enjoys it here. Is it really so unreasonable to think that we could have found someone else like him? Or is it that just too positive for you to even fathom? This is awful. The other students were bad enough, but now Monica and Natsuki are going for each other's throats. Look at how badly everyone was humiliated. How unconsidered all of those... She struggles for a moment, her anger inhibiting her ability to speak. Those assholes were to all of us. They didn't give a damn about anything we had to say. What did that one prick say? He was only there for the food. All of that hard work just for nothing? She angrily clicks one of the tests. The loud noise jolts Sayori, who looks up with tears in her eyes. Please, Natsuki, can you calm down? Don't tell me you're taking her side. She just told you to calm down. You haven't experienced the worst of it. I don't get why you're mad either. Or why you're not mad either. Natsuki, there's no point in being angry at Monica. She didn't want this to happen. She had no idea people would react this way. It's bad enough that the students were rude and I really don't like fighting inside the club itself. Yeah, but if Monica just listened to us when we said we weren't comfortable with this whole idea, this would have never happened. Monica sighs. This is the side of conflict she genuinely leaves for Sayori to deal with. In this case, Sayori looks too distraught to intervene. Look, what you're not understanding is that sometimes you just have to take risks. Sure, this didn't go well, but there was always a chance it wouldn't have ended like this, and you could have had new members. She turns to me. I mean, you of all people can understand that the best, right, Midas? You made the choice to come here. Look how much you enjoy it. Oh, don't you try and suck it up to him, Monica. Face it, you never listen to us, the club members, or take our opinions into account. Tell me I'm not alone in thinking that, Midas. To be fair, she did ask for ideas and we didn't give anything. Oh great, now I have to choose a side. I didn't want to do this, but I desperately look at Yuri and Sayori, but both look too upset to want to get involved. I mean, Monica's the correct one here. She asked for ideas before Natsuki. I think we don't really have the right to complain. I wonder if this choice will matter if we chose the Natsuki route. Something tells me this is going to be making me very unpopular with Natsuki, and I brace myself for what's going to come next. Natsuki, come on, you know better than I do that Monica loves this club. It's only natural she'd want to share it with the rest of the school. Seriously, you're taking her side? I can't believe this. No, it's not like that. I'm not taking her side, it's just... Just what? That's exactly what you're trying to do, Midas. Don't try and backpedal. Natsuki, that's not what he's trying to say. He's just... Oh, of course you're jumping to his aid. Shut up, Monica. Monica looks furious, and for a moment I think Natsuki has finally gone too far. She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath, evidently trying to contain her anger. Jeez, Natsuki. Don't you think that was a little out of order? You didn't have to shout at her. What would you know? You haven't been here for 5 days. Why is everyone making me out to be the bad guy here? Remember when Monica said she'd make sure people weren't going to be rude during her performances? Wow, congratulations, she sure did a fantastic job with that. I mean, it's not like anyone wolf whistled at you or anything, was it? Some enforcer you were. Her bitter, sarcastic tirade continues on, each point worsening the atmosphere. I'm the only one who can see this for what it is. It's just Monica trying to use this club to boost her popularity. And it sickens me. You think we're all just, what, some sort of pawns for you? Explain why you didn't even consider how reluctant we were to do this. Or why you let everyone just walk all over us? Natsuki, you're just being ridiculous now. Why would I want to hurt all of us? It's not exactly been easy on me either. Natsuki lets out a snort of derision. You know, what would you all people know about life being hard? Monica blinks, looking like she's been slapped. It's easy for you, Monica. When you roll as the queen of the school, everyone is liking you. All that crap. You have such the perfect life and all. Never having to defend your interests, never having anyone ridicule you for the things you like. I share classes with those assholes, you know? And you can bet they're gonna have a lot of fun telling me everything else about how much of a loser we all are. And guess what? It's all because of you. I can practically hear the venom dripping from her words at this point. It's absolutely horrible. Face it, Sayori would be a better president than you could ever be. With that, the sickening silence falls into the room once more. But this time, it's a million times worse. Baranowski's eyes is blazing and quiet sobs can be heard from Yuri. Sayori is miserably hugging herself, completely lost for words. Monica is wearing a stony expression on her face, looking both enraged and heartbroken. The whole club waits for her reply to the bombshell Natsuki just dropped on her. Without a word, Monica returns her heel, walks out on the door, the impact of Natsuki's words hanging in the air behind her. No one knows what to say. For a few moments, the heavy silence remains. We all exchange looks. Yuri is meekly wiping her eyes on her sleeve, and Sayori standing around awkwardly. Natsuki, on the other hand, is refusing to meet anyone's gaze. She looks like she's regretting her words a little bit. Guys, please can you make sure that never happens again? It was awful. That was a horrible experience, to say the least. Without Monica to restore order and keep things going, the club suddenly feels very aimless and disorganized. Natsuki, I know you're angry, but can you please find Monica and apologize? But please, I know you're feeling a bit guilty over what you said. After all, you were a bit mean. Natsuki grumbles something under her breath. Nah, it's okay. I'll go find Monica. No offense, Natsuki, but I don't think she'd particularly want to see you right now. I wince as the words leave my mouth. There's probably a more diplomatic way of saying it. Natsuki glares at me. Fine. As I turn to leave, I silently motion to Yuri and Sayori to try and talk to Natsuki. Sayori nods and Yuri nervously swallows. Now, where would Monica go? She would probably want to be somewhere quiet, where she could be by herself, right? It rules out the classrooms, the courtyard, and the cafeteria. The only two places coming into mind are the girls' toilets or rooftop. Well, I'm hoping it's not the girls' toilets. I make my way over to the staircase that leads up to the top, thinking about how this conversation is going to go. Does she even want to talk to me? She didn't even say anything as she left. Was she that upset? Although, given what Natsuki said, I really wouldn't blame Monica. First, there's only one way to find out. There's a door at the top of the stairs which opens out to the rooftop. Bracing myself, I put my hand on the cold steel door handle and push the door open. Man, the view up here is really amazing. I shiver as the wind cuts through my blazer. It's a cold and desolate place, a fitting setting for what just happened. I look around and there she is, leaning slightly over the barriers at the edge of the rooftop, face turned away from me. Not a peep sounds from her. Not even when the wind slams the door behind me closed. Monica? No answer. I slowly approach her, making as little as noise as possible, in some illogical attempt to not scare her away. You look pretty upset, so I thought I'd come after you. I trail off, mentally berating myself at how weak that must have sounded. She stays completely still as I sidle up to her side, leaning on the railing so I can see her face. I don't know what I expected, but her expression is oddly calm. Monica? Beautiful view, isn't it? Yeah, you could say that. Is that the reason you came up here? It's part of it. On days like this, the wind and the internally stretching blue sky makes me feel like I can go anywhere. It feels freeing. There's something comforting in the possibility of getting swallowed up by that blue. Being able to simultaneously take control and lose control. Monica R. But I know that you're obviously not okay. But I'm not asking if you're okay to know if you're okay. I'm going to ask if you're okay so that you can choose to talk to me about whatever you want to give you an opportunity to open up. So, are you okay? A thin smile appears on her face. Progress? That's sweet of you, Midas. To be honest, I didn't expect you of all people to have any tact at all. Me neither. Did you expect that I'd be crying up here? Contemplating suicide or something? Don't worry, I wouldn't do that just because of the festival. Well, I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to cry it out. You know, I actually thought I would cry at first, but maybe I'm all cried out. I guess I've come to terms with all the things that Natsuki said already. She says such weighty words, so casually. What Natsuki said wasn't true, Monica. I think that you're a fantastic president. I hasten to try and give less empty words after she arches an eyebrow at me. I'm not saying that to cheer you up either. Remember what I said before the festival, during your little pep talk? She faintly nods. Well, I'm going to reiterate that in any way because it's important that you're aware of how much I mean it. Thank you for everything. You took me in when I really needed it. Remember how I said earlier that I've been feeling lonely? She nods again. Well, that's how things have been for me recently. I haven't seen much of my parents lately, and most of my days I've spent alone. All of that changed when I joined your club. You were all so friendly and welcoming. Not once did you ever turn me away because I wasn't a poet. I mean, between you and me, I know my poems weren't the greatest. You have a lot of potential, Midas. I did like your poems. Well, I'm glad you think so. But anyway, that's beside the point. You accepted me for who I was, and was always willing to help me. And more importantly, you've created something that 3 other girls hold dear to their hearts. Definitely a sign of a good president, if you ask me. Monica looks down for a moment as if composing herself, and then meets my eyes with a smile. Thank you, Midas. It really means a lot. Like I said earlier, hearing all of this from a newcomer really does make me believe I've hit my goals I set for myself. All I wanted was to create a little haven that people could call home, no matter what their writing ability. Well, take it from someone who joined only a few days ago then. You've definitely succeeded. Also, had you not made this club, I would never have gotten to meet Natsuki and Yuri, or been able to hang out with Sayori again. Nor would I have gotten to get to know you better either, and that would have been a real shame, huh? I playfully nudge her, receiving a nudge back. This past week has probably been the happiest I've ever been in a long time, and that is all thanks to you. We share a smile, one that I am now sure is completely genuine on Monica's part. I don't really know what to say. It's okay, Monica. Seriously, I just wanted you to know how I felt. Anyway, Natsuki was a bit out of order with her words, but honestly I don't think she meant it. I guess tensions were just running really high, and you know better than I do how fiery she can be. Yeah, I know she was just really upset, but hearing those words, it hit really deep, you know? I tried telling myself not to take her words to heart because I knew she was just upset. It was that line about Sayori being a better president. I don't know why it got under my skin so much. It was just spite, Monica. People say awful things that they don't mean, rather, when they're upset. Sayori and Yuri are talking to her now, and I get the feeling she wants to apologize but just doesn't know how to. Well, that's definitely something Natsuki needs to work on. By the way, thank you for making the effort to find me. It really means a lot. I'm suddenly struck by the situation I'm in. Here I am, alone, with one of the most attractive, popular girls of my year, having a heart-to-heart, and sadly this is the closest we could ever get to Monica. Probably a situation most other guys in school would kill to be in. My face heats up a little as I process the heartfelt, rather vulnerable scene we're in. You're welcome, Monica. Nothing to thank me for. I sheepishly scratched the back of my head. We should go and find the others, though. Don't want them to worry or anything. We stand up and make our way back to the door. I hope so. It wasn't exactly nice to be told that you had the perfect life, and that you've never experienced any difficulties. As we make our way back to the club, I just hope Sayori and you were able to talk some sense into Natsuki. The last thing we need is another argument. She's silent as we wordlessly make our way back to the classroom. We finally arrive. I squeeze her shoulder as she takes a deep breath and walk in. They're back! Sayori and Yuri hurry over to us, looking worriedly at Monica. Meanwhile, Natsuki remains standing off to the side by herself, arms folded. Hey guys, I'm alright. Really. Taking some time outside helped clear my mind. And I'm feeling a lot better now. Not to mention Midas was a real help too. I'm relieved. It was a frightening prospect to consider losing our club president. Yeah, and now everyone's calmed down, we can talk things out. Natsuki, why don't you come join us? Fine. She drags her feet as she makes her way over to us. I notice Monica fidgeting with the hem of her skirt and smile reassuringly at her. Okay, so I'm here. Natsuki's eyes dart up to meet Monica's for just a second. So an awkward silence as Natsuki's voice trails away. Sayori raises her eyebrows at her, causing the smaller girl to return her with a glare. I think what Natsuki means to say is that she just said all those things in the heat of the moment. A crime of passion, as it were. Hey, geez, I can speak for myself, okay? She says that, but... Alright, I'm just gonna get this over with. What I want to say is that I didn't mean what I said, that you were a bad president. I mean, I guess it's pretty clear that you care a lot about the club. Sayori nods vigorously at her, egging her on. I says that those jerks pissed me off so much that I blurted out random things and needed to vent. Well, I won't lie, it does seem like you always get special treatment because you're so popular, Monica. But then again, I wouldn't know what you have to go through. You're on a totally different level from the rest of us. Natsuki. Anyway, that's all, I guess. I've always seen you as a friend, and I hope that you'll still be able to see me as one too. There's tension in the air once again as we anxiously wait for Monica's response. Natsuki shifts back and forth on her feet, looking like she almost wants to run away from the scene. Thank you for saying that. I'm not going to lie either, your comment doubting my presidency hurt. It's definitely not true though. You're a great president, Monica. Yeah, you brought us all together. Without you, we wouldn't have become friends. And I wouldn't have been introduced to the world of poetry. I agree. It's an amazing feeling to be able to talk to like-minded individuals. Yeah, as far as presidents go, we could definitely do worse. And so what if you nudged us into the festival? I guess it's only normal for the president of all people to want the club to grow. Thanks, guys. I guess after all that, I have no choice but to accept Natsuki's apology, huh? I mean, it'd be really great if you could. That's certainly an understatement. We all turn to Yuri, surprised at the glimpse of a humorous side to her. Did I say something strange? Yuri is so funny. Eh? I let out a breath and I'm subconsciously holding. It seems like everything's turned out well in the end. At least as well as they can, given the circumstances. Okay, everyone. And with that catchphrase, everything seems alright in the world once again. I totally forgot to mention this. We still need to clean everything up. I'm sure that with all of us working together though, it won't take that long to do. I'm assuming everyone's just gonna skip the festival and go home after this. I'm pretty tired after all the stuff that just happened. As am I. Same here. I wish I could leave too, but I have a shift in my class's cafe after this. It's alright though. Everyone can get moving on. Everyone get moving then, so you can all go home. I wish I could see Monica in that cafe. Everyone starts cleaning up the room, myself included. Yuri and Natsuki start packing up the essential oils and set up on the cupcake trays, respectively. Meanwhile, Sayori, Monica, and I pick up everything left on the ground and desks. I guess it's like we're erasing all the trace that the festival ever happened in here. Although, I can't help but think that there's still lingering tension in the air, despite Monica's cheery expression. I have a feeling that Monica might just be putting the club before herself in this case. But the only thing I can do now is hope that everyone will feel better tomorrow. It'd be pretty nice to get home from school early for a change and be able to relax. Although now that I think about it, I really only have anime and video games to look forward to. I guess that's everything that's happened today is going to be plaguing my mind tonight. Morning already? I groan as I fumble for the alarm clock. Man, I just feel like sinking into the depths of my bed. Is it natural to feel this tired after waking up? What's the time anyway? 10:30 a.m. Holy crap! I've already much missed first two classes. Should I even go to school today, or should I just cut my losses and skip? The first battle rages within my mind as I lay there. But after a beat, I leap out of bed and begin throwing on my uniform. I didn't even want to go to school, but I strangely feel compelled to stick to my everyday routine. I guess mom really trained me well. No time for breakfast today. To be honest, I'm usually too lazy to cook anything anyway. It's 10:39 a.m. now. I'm making good time. Hang on. It's Saturday. As that realization hits me, all the nervous tension drains out of my body, leaving me slouched over and exhausted. Now that I'm already out of bed, I might as well do something productive today. Although I have to change into my normal clothes first. At least there's no school to get through today, although unfortunately the literature club is still feeling the effects of the festival. Thankfully the awkward atmosphere is only subtle, but even I, a newbie, can see that everyone's been treading on eggshells. I really do hope that things can eventually get back to normal. At this rate, you could see everyone drifting apart. Monica hasn't spoken to me about things yet either. I have a feeling if you chose Natsuki in that argument with Monica, is the club really over? I mean, I feel like it. I meant to talk to her about the festival argument the day after, but I just couldn't figure out a way to confront her about it. It's probably just me being too reluctant to bring things up, but I never really found the right time to talk. I should get out of the house for once and stop thinking about these things. It'll be a nice change of pace from staying on my computer all day. Gotta get rid of that pasty pale complexion. At least the weather isn't bad today. It's a regular sunny day. Not too hot and not too cold. It's just me, my bag, and Sayori. Come to think of it, I don't even know where I'm headed to, but I'm sure there will be Sayori. Yep. Maybe I'll just text Sayori to see how she's doing, although she's probably not awake yet anyway. I haven't hung out with her in a while, and it might prove to be a nice surprise for her. Okay. The more I think about it, the more appealing the idea sounds. I imagine the festival fiasco probably upset her given how much she cares for the club and the other girls. Can't hurt to see if she's okay and take her mind off it. Besides, I can't imagine she really has much going on either. I dig out my phone and shoot her a message. Hey Sayori, what's up? No reply. I checked the time. Knowing Sayori, she's probably still sleeping. I suppose anything before noon is considered early for her. Then again, I'm not much better. The only reason I got up so early on a Saturday is because I thought it was a school day. I chuckled to myself. My parents would definitely be surprised if they learned I was up before midday on a Saturday. Dad used to joke around and call me nocturnal, like I was a vampire. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you during this quarantine is nocturnal. Thinking about it, given my sleep cycles, he wasn't wrong. Shame I don't have the ability to turn into a bat though. Or super speed. Well, at least the weather's nice. And you would probably burn now if you were a vampire. It's early October now, which is the best of both worlds. As in, it's not quite as hot as it was in the summer, and the real bite of the winter hasn't kicked in yet. It's fairly warm, with fluffy white clouds accompanying the blue skies. Perching down on the bench, I aimlessly flick through my phone while I wait Sayori's reply. Finally, my phone goes off. Hi, Midas! Sorry about the delay. I just woke up. Lol. Called it. Don't you worry about it. Just wondered if you wanted to go to the park or something. It's a nice day after all. Sure thing. Which one? Lol, you see. I'll keep it a surprise. Sounds fun. Give me a few minutes to get ready, okay? Yep. Just let me know when you're dressed and I'll meet you outside your house. Alrighty. Smiley face. As I slip my phone back into my pocket, I start to aimlessly plan what we'll get up to. There's a park near our house. When we were children, it was almost like a second home to us. So much time spent exploring. We used to get tons of ice cream at the playground after working the puppy eyes on our parents. In fact, I think it was at that very park that I first met Sayori. Something about ice cream? I'm not even surprised you met and initially bonded over food. Good times. Another notif. Okay, I'm good. Coming up now. With Sayori and tow, we make our way over. Already, I'm reminded of the time we spent together last Sunday. I'm hoping today is just as enjoyable. Although last time she got to learn a little more about me, I didn't get to learn much about her. Well, in the time we've been apart, I've got no idea how she's been finding school, what her interests are, her plans for the future, all that stuff. So, I know you meant it. I know you said it's meant to be a surprise, but can I get a teeny tiny hint? Should I? Please, after all, it's super early. I checked my watch, it's 11:30. Sayori, it's almost noon. Yeah, super early. I mean, she's not wrong. I suppose you got a point. Alright. I lean in I'm not even gonna try. This is super top secret stuff. Understood, Agent. I gave you the codename Childhood. Where would you think? She scrunches up her face, fiddling with the strand of her hair in her hands. Oh, I know. Is she going to get it on her first try? I'll be mighty impressed and surprised. You're not taking me back to elementary school, are you? Well, that hope got shut down. I can't help but sigh. No, worth a try. I'll give you another hint. Do you remember where we first met? It wasn't elementary school, was it? If you say that one more time. Kidding. You're kind of fun to wind up sometimes, you know? Makes a change from you always being the meanie to me. You love it, really. It's the only way I can get you back from all those tricks you used to play on me, you know? Tricks? I know what you're talking about. That innocent childlike grin is back on her face. Already, I'm glad I decided to text her instead of going back to sleep. What about the time you told my mom that I threw the tennis ball at you so she'd make you give you my candy? Yeah, Sayori. By that time, we climbed that the train got stuck. I told you it'll be too high, but you didn't listen. My dad had to get us down. I grinned. Although the climb was pretty fun, the view was incredible. See, it wasn't all bad. I know. It was all good-natured. We used to get up to so much mischief. We sure did. Anyway, I think I know where we're going. Paku. Oh, it does have a name. Because in the Yuri route, we did reconnect with Sayori in the park, but is this different than the park that you went to? I'm guessing no. Paku Park, right? So there is something in your head of yours after all then, huh? Yay! And so here we are. I love this place! Haven't been here in so long! Yeah, me neither. We take a seat on the wooden bench that affords us a lovely view of the park around us. Children are playing all sorts of ball games as their parents chat amicably. Dogs are running around as their owners laugh and chase them. I smile. Here with Sayori, I truly feel like I'm home. Or I'm at home, sorry. Figured it'd be... sorry. Figured it'd be... And so here we are. I love this place. Haven't been here in so long. Yeah, me neither. We take a seat on a wooden bench which affords us a lovely view of the park around us. Children are playing all sorts of ball games as their parents chat amicably. Dogs are running around as their owners laugh and chase them. I smile. Here with Sayori, I truly feel like I'm at home. Figured it'd do both of us good to take a trip down memory lane, eh? Especially after that fiasco of the festival and everything. Yeah. The change of her tone and expression at the festival still looks like it's bothering her. I can't blame her. All of the club members are feeling it. I was hoping by now things would go back to how they used to? Yeah, that. I mean, yeah. The festival was a bit of a failure, but the club is still a nice place for us five, right? Sayori looks ahead, idly poking at a twig with her feet. Yeah, it is. I just really wish people weren't so mean. We all practice super hard too. All that for nothing. Hey, come on, Sayori. It's not like you to be so depressing. Oh, no, Midas. You shouldn't dwell too much on that anyway. What's done is done, right? Besides, I want today to be a good day. She blinks as a slightly shameful look crosses her features. Yes, you're right, Midas, I'm sorry. Don't apologize. After all, it was me who brought it up, so I can't really talk. Anyway, I brought you here because I know this place means a lot to you. I was worried you might be upset, so I was hoping this could cheer you up. Aw, Midas, you didn't have to do that. Well, that. But mostly, I just needed an excuse to get out of the house. She pokes me in the ribs as I laugh. And besides, spending time with you on Sunday made me realize that we have a lot to catch up on. She giggles. I guess both of us don't know where to start. It's almost like we've just met and don't know what to say to each other. In a strange way, I guess. This is the case to some extent. I guess I'll start. You know, I've always been curious as to why you joined the literature club. I didn't really think poetry was your thing. She leans forward, resting her chin on her knees. Well, Monica and I are actually in the same... Oh, okay. Monica and I are actually in the same class. She's the one that told me about it. In a way, I guess I was kinda like you. Like me? Yeah. As in I didn't really think much about poetry. It's not that I didn't like it, I just didn't think too much about it. But as I joined, and Monica told me more and more about literature, about how poetry can be a really nice way to express yourself. I loved it. Anyone can write poetry, and that's what I like. It doesn't matter who you are, what your interests are, or how good you are. There's something for everyone. Interesting. Yuri, Monica, and Sayori all appreciate poetry for different reasons. I guess the sense that Yuri likes poetry as it gives her an opportunity to express deep and complex stuff. Monica seems to be on a similar wavelength to Yuri, but I think she prefers abstract stuff more. And again, I guess Yuri also uses a lot of abstract themes in her poems. Who knows? I'm still an amateur. Sayori notices my chuckle. What's up? Nothing. I was just thinking about how everyone in the club rather, seems to appreciate different things in poetry. What else? What else? Sayori has a faraway look in her eyes as she speaks, or as she asks the next question. I remember. We used to think alike in so many ways. Like when we used to look at clouds, we'd see a lot of familiar things in the sky. So I wonder, do we still do that? Well, not anymore, but I guess we can do it again. I grin. I had totally forgotten how much we used to enjoy cloud watching back in the day. Every time I remember something more from our childhoods, it brings a smile on my face. Cloud watching perfectly captured that innocent, carefree essence of nostalgia. I had actually forgotten about that. We really let our imaginations run wild, didn't we? The best thing is it worked. Yeah, clouds are so cool like that. What about that one? Oh, okay, we're gonna do cloud watching now, I guess. She takes my outstretched finger in her hands and points it at a specific spot. Aha! Yeah, I can see that one now. This one looks like a fish. Where? Oh, it's so small! Look at that one! Kinda looks like a little frog. This is what I love about clouds. They're so... what's the word? Cloudy. Haha. Oh, you really like poking me in the ribs, don't you? I was trying to think of the right word. I think I heard Yuri say it once. Versatile? I think that's something means is... I forgot. Well, it sounds like it fits. Yeah, I'd say that's about right, but... I guess there's a better word for it. Pretty cool how different people see different things and looking at the exact same one. I wonder what the other girls would see. Fluffy kittens pronouncing something spooky with Yuri. You really know them well, huh? What do you think Monica would see? A piano? I mean, you can interpret a cloud or however you want, right? I'm just thinking of stuff that reminds me of her. But I'm happy that we still cloud gaze the same way. Yeah, that makes two of us. I was kinda worried that maybe, I don't know, just too far apart. So much so that we'd be totally different people. But that doesn't look to be the case, and I'm glad. Yeah, by the way, Midas, I've been meaning to ask you. What? How are you doing in school? Okay, I thought it would be more personal. Jeez, Sayori, that's kind of a boring question, don't you think? Don't try and worm this out, mister. I still worry about you, you know? I just want to know if you're doing fine, that's all. There's nothing to worry about, I'm doing just fine. You sound a bit like Mom. I can tell that that's a compliment or an insult. A mystery we'll take to our graves, huh? Your subsequent pout makes me chuckle. Oh, this is probably my favorite spot of Sayori. You got a popsicle, would you? Would that make you less pouty with me? We're gonna give her one? You think you could change my mood with food, huh? Depends on the flavor. Mental note to self, if Sayori's ever actually annoyed with me, just give her something sweet. Who knows when that information will come in handy later? Will it? I hope it will. The more I think about it, perhaps I was wrong to worry we'd changed so much. Or we'd have changed so much. After all, I'm pretty much still the same person. 6 or so years isn't that much time, I guess. One thing that doesn't change is how much she loves to explore and how much her imagination accommodates that. Forests weren't just forests, they were part of a magical land, inhabited by an array of mythical creatures. Beaches weren't just sand and sea, they were a tropical paradise, home to countless happy childhood memories. Even went at the beach together, that's so sweet! Searching for crabs, aimlessly splashing in the sea, checking out hidden coves. Sayori could even transform our homes into something they weren't. We used to jump from sofa to sofa, chair to chair, pretending that the floor was lava. That game never got old. And I'm pretty sure every kid on the planet has played it too. Not me. You know something, Sayori? She's slightly ahead of me, ducking under a tree branch. We're now in the forest part of the park. I had a sudden realization as to why your poems are so good. As they're not that good. No, seriously. Your imagination has always been super strong. All those games you used to play as children. You were always part of your own little world. And it shows in your poems. I'm glad you picked up on it. Writing poems isn't half the fun. Or is half the fun rather. The other half is showing them to people. Especially when they like what you've written. What's your thought process when you write your poems? Like how do you write them? I just go with my heart. I guess it's kinda tricky to explain. I think it just depends on my mood. Like when I wrote Dear Sunshine, I was in a pretty good mood. More like you were just hungry, given your note, or given you wrote it while you were eating breakfast. I was in a good mood because I was eating breakfast. Anyway, so with bottles... Well, I guess I was thinking about how much I want people to be happy. So that's the answer to your question. It depends on my mood, and what I happen to think about. Or what I happen to be thinking about. I wonder how the others do it. Well, Yuri is very expressive to say the least, and we now know why. It's her parents. I wonder how Natsuki does it, and Monica is pretty much semi-sentient Monica in a sense that all her poems are about I'm in a screen and you're behind the screen and the like. Yeah, me too actually. Wouldn't it be kinda interesting to see you all approach poetry? Or see how you all approach poetry? Although I think I wouldn't be able to understand how someone like Yuri does it. Her poetry still goes over my head. Good to know I'm not the only one. Although, what about your fairy tale poem? What was your thought process behind that one? And that one, there's an immediate shift in atmosphere. There wasn't really one. It just felt like writing it like instant recognition that she's lying. But you said you write your poems based on what you're thinking, or what you're feeling at the time, right? What about you, Mike? Yep, she's trying to hide it. How do you write yours? I should have known she wouldn't be still a little cagey about that one. Thinking back to her behavior on that Friday, I guess it's to be expected. Just what is it about that poem and her behavior that bothers me so much? Maybe because we don't like seeing Sayori sad, because seeing Sayori sad is very bad. Is it because it shows a side of Sayori that's totally new to me, one that I'm not used to? Or because I know that there's still something she's not telling me? Midas? Sorry, I was spacing out a little bit. Well, I guess I'm similar to you, I suppose. I just pick a bunch of words that describe what I'm thinking about and write a poem based on... More like, just pick a bunch of words and those 20 words are just written on paper. To be honest, I'm not really experienced even though... I'm not really experienced enough to give you a proper answer. I kind of made it up on the spot. But it's worked so far, so I'm not complaining. I thought that read corpse. Sayori pauses, looking around at the cups behind us. She walks up to a large tree and plants herself down in front of it. I follow suit, resting my back against the sturdy trunk, admiring the soft rays as they penetrate the branches. But you said you reminds me of something Monica told me once. Something about if you don't have confidence, just fake it until people believe in you. She turns to me, a thoughtful expression on her face. Sometimes I wonder if she's really confident, or it's all just for show. I get the feeling that sometimes you can never tell with people. I blink. That was remarkably insightful for Sayori. A more reflective mood seems to have fallen upon her. No idea, to be honest. She seems pretty much genuine. I mean, she was like this when I first met her as well, so that would be an awful long time to wear that mask. I wouldn't have expected that sort of question from you, though. Why'd you ask? She smiles mischievously. Why? Sometimes it's nice to surprise people. What do you mean? Well, let me ask you, Midas. If you had to describe me in a few words, which words would you choose? Bubbly and light-hearted? And adventurous? I've always seen you as kind. You know, given how you're always concerned with how happy people are. I guess your most definitive trait is your happiness. Like you always seem so cheerful, at least with the... Okay, I kinda see where you're going now. Are you gonna really tell me that you're depressed and this smile is just a mask right now, Sayori? If you're gonna do that, please give me a reason why. Sayori... I kinda wish I could be like that sometimes. Although what I've sort of picked up on is just like everyone else, you still feel down from time to time, right? She looks ahead, a faraway look on her face. This even confirms my suspicions even more. It's not exactly sad, but there's a certain air of... what? Wonder? Nostalgia? See, that's what I mean. Everyone picks up on those things you mentioned, but they find me asking this question a bit. Unlike me, if you get what I'm saying... Wait, did I read that right? Everyone picks up on these things that you mentioned, but they find me asking this question a bit. I guess it's because of how I act in the literature club. Aside from writing my poetry, I never really talk about deeper things or things that aren't just aimlessly happy. I guess I just don't want to bother people with that sort of stuff. Bother them? Why would it bother them, Sayori? Well, maybe that isn't the right word. Sorry. I've never really been good at expressing myself in person. It's much easier to do in a poem. It's okay. I've never really been good at it either. A lot of the time I like to think about the past, not things used to be. I told Natsuki about this. She giggles softly, and Natsuki thinks I live in the past. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that, though. Don't you think so? Nah. If you're happy, what's the issue? It's only natural that you'd want to think about the good times that brought a smile on your face, right? When we first started talking again, I used to look back on all our shared memories from all those years ago. But when they first met and bonded over ice cream, to me winning Mr. Cow for you, or my dad winning Mr. Cow for you, helping you with homework. I remember our parents used to say we were pretty much inseparable. Everyone has their own happy thoughts, which keeps them going, right? Stored away in balls, huh? Of course. She sighs contentedly. Sorry, I didn't mean to bore you or anything. You're not actually boring me. I'm even more interested now. Bore me? Really, Sayori? You're sounding a bit like Yuri. I haven't seen this side of you before and I really like it. As much as I enjoy your playful banter, this made for a really nice change of pace. Besides, I always like talking to you. Thank you, Midas. I worry about... well... Sayori. People are always going to enjoy being your friend, even if you're not super chipper all the time. It's okay, seriously. Just be yourself, don't hide anything. Please. I'll be here, don't you worry. I reach over and squeeze her hand, smiling reassuringly. Sayori noticeably fidgets, looking rather uneasy about something. Sayori will be here for you. Please, don't be sad. What's wrong, Sayori? Actually, there is something I could tell you. Oh, I guess we're gonna have it now. She's gonna tell us now. I don't know if it's a good idea though. My heart starts to race as a million questions start wheezing around my head. Is this about Fairy Tale? Her behavior on Friday? Some other secret that's coming out of the blue? Or perhaps something else entirely? Sayori? The truth is yeah! Why? It was there. She was gonna, I don't know, confess her love, confess her depression. There was sauce in whatever she was about to say. Whether it be good or bad, I just wanted to know. Gad, who has it? Who has the phone call us now? Disappointment ever had a sound, it would sound like a ringing phone. With a groan, I fumbled into my pocket. Oh, it's ours. Oh, God. Glaring at the offending object, as if it knows it's responsible for ruining such a moment. You darn right. You should know you're responsible for ruining such a moment. Oh. Never mind then. Hi, Mom. I haven't spoken to her in a long time. In fact, the last time we spoke was before I joined the literature club. I'm really sorry, Sayori. I'm gonna have to take this. A strange smile is on her face. She shakes her head. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna be worried now. But hey, Mom's first. Hi, Mom. I haven't spoken to you in a while. Have you been good? Midas! It's been so long! Work has been so hectic over the past few weeks. And there I was, thinking you'd forget about me. Or you'd forgotten about me rather. Don't be silly, I always worry about you. I know, Mom. It was just a joke. You and your sarcasm. You must have gotten that from your father. How have you been lately? Are you eating well? Exercising daily? Checking out some walk? Oh, slow down, Ma. I've been doing just fine. I've actually joined the club. Oh wow, that's wonderful. What kind of club is it? Literature, funnily enough. Poems and stuff. Sayori told me about it, as she is the vice president. I hope you stick with it. Yeah, I don't think the girls would forgive me if I left. Girls, you said. Uh-oh. Anyway, now it's not a really great time as I'm chilling with Sayori. You know, the park you used to always take us to. Oh, you're with Sayori. How's she doing? We're having a catch-up session, actually. She's not changed too much. Anyway, can I call you back later? Kinda cutting her off right now. Of course. I have the evening off. So we can talk then, okay? Sure thing. I hope we do talk to Mom. Before I go, you are remembering to eat, right? I roll my eyes before realizing she can't even see that. Yes, Mom. Of course. Of course I'm remembering to eat. What am I? Going on a fast or something? Why do you think I'm 5? I can see Sayori giggling out of the corner of my eye. If I were you, I'd be more concerned about Sayori. Lazy girl can't get even out of bed. I grin as I see her laugh and turn into a childish frown. Oh, stop teasing her, Midas. You're so mean to her sometimes. Wow. Jeez, you sound like her. Anyway, you gotta go. Talk to you later, okay, Ma? Love you. Love you too, son. Bye. I tucked my phone away and turned back to Sayori. Sorry about that. I had no idea she'd call. Will you tell me what you were about to say now, please? It's okay. You haven't spoken to her in a while, so it was nice to hear you two talking again. Anyway, what were you saying? You wanted to tell me something? Sayori isn't sitting down by the tree anymore. She's standing up and looks ready to go. Please don't go! No, stay, please, stay. Oh, don't you worry about that. It was nothing important. It was. It is something important, Sayori. You sure? It seemed kinda serious. Okay, I'm just gonna let it slide for now, I guess. Well, it's only Act 1, so I guess it is kinda early. It's okay, I'm kinda hungry anyway. Can you stop by a cafe on the way home? You literally just had a popsicle! That's not a very good meal, and I wouldn't even be full when if I had a popsicle. But you know what they say, and what would that be? The fridge is a clear example of that what matters is on the inside. I stare at her. What does that have to do with anything? It's about food? You know what, let's just go and get whatever you want. here for a while if I try to understand what goes inside Sayori's head. One tasty lunchtime meal later, Sayori's appetite is finally sated. It's getting to the late afternoon at this point. Hey Sayori, not that I didn't enjoy today, but I think I'm gonna have to call it there. There's a mountain of homework I haven't even started that's due on Monday, and I don't think Sakurai is going to be happy with me if it's late. Her face still has traces of chocolate all over it. She hastily attempts to wipe it off. Oh, that's okay. I probably should do the same. We've reached my house. Okay, well, I'll see you on Monday then. Have a good one. She waves cheerily. Bye, Midas. Thanks again for today. No worries. Sorry I ruined it with the phone call. You didn't. It's okay. I wish you could spend the rest of the day with her. But unfortunately, my procrastination has caught up with me. What a fun evening this will be.